Today we will discuss DC profiles. In this episode we will discuss Young Nine. Young Nine is a rapper from the Benning Park area who was close to other rappers like TD Ramo, Ray Money, and MGM. Young Nine would begin dropping music around 4 years ago and would gain of views. He would hit 300,000 on a song by himself, and he would also do 300,000 on a song with TD Ramo. Young Nine would get into a shootout on camera at a gas station with his ops, and the video of this incident would get over 1 million views. Some people would even recognize Young Nine.
Police say officers heard shots in Southeast and they headed toward them. And when they got to the area, the shooters opened fire on them. This was all caught on surveillance video. Police need your help to make some arrests. So Mike Valerio walks us through what this crazy video shows.
In the video that escalates into an intense shootout immediately, the young man on the bike looks right, takes out a gun, and fires 4 shots, residue after each one visible. Here's where it happened. The shell on Benning Road Southeast, a block from the Maryland border. Surveillance video shows 3 people in this gray Honda Accord, all of them armed. One gets out and police nearby hear the gunfire. When the officers show up, MPD tells us the men start shooting at police and their marked car. Police are now asking the public for help to find the people in the shootout. This was last Thursday, just after 6 p.m., and MPD says all officers are okay, but everyone captured in the video got away. Along with assault on a police officer, MPD classified this as assault with a dangerous weapon.
After this, Nine would continue dropping music for his fans, and he would even start beefing with Lincoln Heights. I'm not sure what this beef stemmed from, but Young Nine would drop a diss on morally rich Jake from Lincoln Heights.
I'm spending they band. Course how young got hit in this round. Now about business, I'm spending that band. I'm clutching the 30, I'm thinking about him. Free Mickey on and the rest of the men. Militant young and I stay on my 10. Big boy Glizzy, I'm rocking the 10. Hop out the car and I'm boxing you in. Go kill her off, then I'm locking you in. I'm on the block and I'm towing on Gen 5. Turning on Fox 5, how do we go slide? Punish your Vic if you playing on both sides. Say what you saying and I'm shooting out both eyes. Playing the mirrors, we riding the high ride. Ain't on the front so we came from the backside. Mind on murder, I'm trying to go white guy. Ride through 50 with 50, I'm looking for out guy. Hit him up top with a 50, got hit with a high five. Now I'm back out there, I'm coming in no time. I get a drop, then we gone on blow time. Fuck up the blow, they be slowing them stop signs. Long live brody, you know we gon' keep sign. I'm out the summer with Peasy, I keep fine. Trying to get up with these niggas, they keep high. Wearing the stolo and trigger behind us, you know we gon' keep drive. You can come home, all you do is gotta be quiet. We in a ride with 5s or APs. Come on that court and I'm looking for Jakey. Fucking her up, thought she screaming, she hate me. Bitch, I'm a pimp, ain't no way you can play me. I was just active and spinning. You talking about stopping the car, but you didn't. You starting this shit, then you know I'ma finish. Catch me at HOG, I might catch me a sentence. Real life shit, when I rap, I'm living.
Young Nine also had some alias beef with Slime. Get him back in the day in school, too. Now we will get into this homicide of a Virginia teen who died around Paradise, and Young Nine and his man would get bagged for this, and Young Nine would tell on his man on Saturday, July 9th, 2022, at approximately 17:28 hours, members of the Metropolitan Police Department's 6th District were dispatched to the 3500 block of Hayes Street Northeast regarding a shooting. 6th District officers responded to the 3500 block of Hayes Street Northeast and spoke with citizens. While speaking with the citizens, officers were advised that the sounds heard were fireworks and not gunshots. However, citizens later flagged down Officer Carter alongside 3592 Hayes Street Northeast at approximately 18:28 hours and told him that there was a victim inside of a vehicle. Officer Carter located the decedent, later identified as Damari Mari Wright, date of birth September 22, 2004. Inside a black 2010 four-door BMW 328i bearing Maryland registration tag 4ES7267. The decedent was unconscious and unresponsive, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The decedent was found seated inside of the front passenger seat, slouched back against seat, holding a small, unidentifiable item in his right hand. The small item in his right hand does not appear to be a firearm. DC Fire and EMS were summoned and, after determining death was apparent, pronounced the decedent dead at 1840 hours under the authority of Dr. Robert Holman. The decedent's remains were subsequently transported to the office of the Chief Medical Examiner for an autopsy to determine the cause and manner of his death. 2. On Sunday, July 10, 2022, an autopsy was performed by Dr. Francisco Diaz of the Office of the Medical Examiner. Dr. Diaz's examination revealed that the decedent sustained a close-range gunshot wound to the face, with entry at the nose and exit behind the decedent's right ear, with stippling present. Dr. Diaz also noted during his exam that the decedent suffered multiple gunshot wounds to both legs. As a result of the autopsy, Dr. Diaz ruled the cause of death was multiple gunshot wounds, and the manner of his death was ruled a homicide. 3rd, ShotSpotter did not initially detect any gunshots at the time of the shooting. Law enforcement contacted ShotSpotter and requested a manual query be conducted. On July 10, 2022, your affiant received a report with the following response from ShotSpotter. After performing this search, we were able to find sounds resembling gunfire with the following characteristics. 10 rounds beginning at 17:25:53 hours. An audio file containing the sounds of gunshots was provided with the report. However, the audio file was time-stamped 17:22:53 hours, not 17:25:53 hours, as stated in the report. Your affiant confirmed that the audio of the sounds of gunfire was from 17:22:53 hours. Not 17:25:53 hours. 4. The Metropolitan Police Department's Homicide Branch initiated an investigation into the decedent's death. The crime scene is located alongside of 3592 Hayes Street, Northeast, Washington, District of Columbia, inside of a black four-door 2010 BMW 328 bearing Maryland registration tag 4ES7267. There were several pieces of evidence collected from the inside and around the vehicle. There was a blue iPhone located on the ground next to the driver's side door. There was one red cell phone on the driver's seat, one 9mm cartridge casing on the driver's seat, one 9mm cartridge casing on the driver's side floorboard, one 9mm cartridge casing on the front passenger seat in blood, and one projectile on the front passenger's floorboard. Additionally, your affiant noted a defect to the interior area of the front passenger's door, a defect to the passenger's side windshield, blood and apparent brain matter on the front passenger's door, blood spatter near the front passenger side visor, and blood on the interior passenger side door. Each of the defects appeared to be consistent with damage caused by gunfire. Outside of the vehicle, your affiant noted a black face mask and a package of funnel located on the passenger side curb area next to the vehicle. The vehicle was seized and subsequently taken to the Department of Forensic Sciences for additional processing. Detectives canvassed the area for CCTV footage to assist with the homicide investigation. Homicide detectives obtained CCTV footage from the Paradise at Parkside apartment complex, aka Paradise, which included the 3500 and the 3600 blocks of Hayes Street Northeast. During the review of the CCTV, detectives discovered that the CCTV footage was 1 hour slow because the company that monitors and stores the CCTV footage for the apartment complex is in the Central Time Zone. Your affiant also learned that the CCTV for Building 7 is also approximately 1 minute faster than the other cameras on the complex. The detectives reviewed the CCTV footage from several cameras in the complex from 1630 hours until 1830 hours. 6. The footage that was recovered captured the 2010 black BMW 328 I arrive and park alongside 3592 Hayes Street Northeast at approximately 1716 hours real time. Camera time 1617 hours. The footage showed two suspects exit 3680 Hayes Street Northeast at approximately 1718 hours real time, 1618 camera time. Based on the review of the footage, Suspect 1 was determined to be a black male, light complexion, short haircut, wearing a gray hoodie, black pants, white, blue, and bluish-green Nike tennis shoes, and carrying a light-colored bag in his left hand. Suspect 2 was determined to be a black male, medium complexion, with high top fade haircut, wearing a black long-sleeve top, black pants, and light-colored tennis shoes. The suspects walked into the breezeway alongside 3678 Hayes Street, Northeast, and proceeded into the parking lot. At approximately 17:21 hours real time, 16:22 hours camera time, both suspects walked to the black BMW 328i and got into the vehicle from the left rear passenger door. 7. At approximately 17:22 hours real time, the driver of the BMW, who was later identified by law enforcement and who will hereinafter be referred to as Witness 1, fled from the vehicle after a gunshot struck the windshield. Moments later, Suspect 1 fled from left rear passenger door of the vehicle and ran back toward the apartment complex. And when Suspect 1 fled from the vehicle, he was captured on CCTV as he ran on the sidewalk and turned into the courtyard near 3670 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 1 was holding a light-colored bag in his left hand and had his right hand inside his sweat hoodie pocket with an object bulging in the sweat hoodie pocket. Suspect 1 ran through the breezeway alongside of 3672 Hayes Street into the rear parking lot area. Suspect 1 then fled into the breezeway alongside of 3678 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 1 ran inside of 3680 Hayes Street Northeast. 9 seconds after Suspect 1 fled from vehicle, Suspect 2 was observed fleeing from the driver's side of the vehicle. However, it is unclear which door Suspect 2 used to exit the vehicle. Suspect 2 climbed over the fence between the road and the apartment complex and ran alongside 3592 Hayes Street Northeast. While fleeing the scene, Suspect 2 was observed dropping an object, stopping to search for the object, collecting the object, and then continuing to flee from the area. 10. Suspect 2 fled alongside of 3670 Hayes Street through the rear parking lot area. Suspect 2 entered the breezeway alongside of 3678 Hayes Street Northeast, and then went back inside of 3680 Hayes Street Northeast. The suspects were observed to have changed clothing, returned to the crime scene, and then returned to 3680 Hayes Street Northeast. Evidence: search of black BMW 328i11. On Monday, July 11, 2022, detectives responded to the Department of Forensic Sciences, DFS, and met with scientist Sergio Becerra, CSU 43, to conduct a search of the black four-door 2010 BMW 328i bearing Maryland registration tag 4ES7267. During the search of the BMW 328i, 5 9mm cartridge casings, 1 .45 caliber cartridge casing, a total of 6 cartridge casings, 3 projectiles, swabs, photographs, and latent prints were collected. It should be noted that these items were in addition to the items recovered during the preliminary investigation as detailed above. Your affiant notes that no firearm was recovered from the vehicle or from the crime scene. Your affiant requested that some of the cartridge casings be forensically examined in an attempt to determine whether or not they were correlated with any cartridge casings previously known to law enforcement by way of the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, NIBIN. 12. On Thursday, July 14, 2022, your affiant was notified that the .45 caliber cartridge casing recovered from inside of the BMW 328 had been correlated in NIBIN with 2 other investigations. In addition to this, your affiant learned that, despite the presence of multiple 9mm cartridge casings, all of the 9mm cartridge casings appeared to have been fired from the same gun. NIBIN correlations. Associated with the .45 caliber cartridge casing, November 4, 2021. Shooting into an occupied dwelling at 18205 Kilmer Lane, Triangle, Virginia, PD2 100330551-001, report available in LNX via report number search. December 6, 2021, shooting into an occupied dwelling at Buffalo Court and Bakersfield Street, Woodbridge, Virginia, PD 210036614-001, report available in L/X via report number search. July 9, 2022. Homicide at 359 2 Hayes Street Northeast, 22-098-13713. On Wednesday, July 27, 2022, your affiant spoke with Prince William County Homicide Detective Kupka about the 2 shooting investigations referenced above. Detective Kupka was the lead detective on the December 6, 2021 investigation and was familiar with the November 4, 2021 shooting. Detective Kupka advised your affiant that both shootings were destruction of property shootings and that the decedent was not a suspect in either case. He advised that the shootings were believed to be the result of a feud between 2 gangs known as the Bloods and the Crips. Aerial view of the crime scene and surrounding apartment complex 14. The picture below is an aerial view of the apartment complex known as Paradise at Parkside Apartments. This apartment complex is more commonly known as Paradise. The green tab is the location where the black 2010 BMW 328i was parked. The red tab is pointed at 3680 Hayes Street Northeast. This picture below shows the 2010 BMW 328i parked alongside of 3592 Hayes Street Northeast when Officer Carter located the vehicle. The BMW's lights were on and all the doors were closed. The front passenger window was partly rolled down, and there was a visible bullet hole in the bottom corner of the windshield on the passenger side. Review of camera footage 16. Your affiant viewed the following on the CCTV footage from the Paradise at Parkside apartment complex. Note that images of uninvolved individuals are redacted in white. July 9, 2022. Saturday, 16/19/11, 17/19/11 time real time. Both suspects exited 3680 Hayes Street Northeast and walked into the breezeway alongside 3678 Hayes Street Northeast. A third individual exited 3680 Hayes Street Northeast at the same time suspects 1 and 2 exited. The third individual turned left and walked toward the center of the complex as the suspects turned right and walked toward the breezeway. The suspects exited the breezeway and entered the rear parking lot. Note, the red arrow is pointed. Suspect 1, a black male, medium complexion, short haircut, wearing a gray hoodie sweatshirt with the hood down, black jeans, and bluish-green white Nike tennis shoes. Subject 1 has a light-colored bag in his hand. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2, a black male, light complexion, wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, black pants, and light-colored tennis shoes. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 are observed on the sidewalk towards 3592 Hayes Street Northeast. Note, Suspect 1 is circled in red. Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 are walking towards the black 2010 BMW 328i parked alongside 3592 Hayes Street Northeast. Note, the bottom still shot is an enlarged section of the top still shot. Suspect 1 is circled in red. Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. There is a sudden motion from the area of the windshield, and witness 1 immediately exited the driver's door and fled away from the vehicle, running up Hayes Street Northeast. Note, the bottom still shot is an enlarged section of the top still shot. Witness 1 is circled in green. Suspect 1 ran away from the crime scene and entered the courtyard of 3670 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 1 ran into the breezeway between 3670 and 3672 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 1 ran through the rear parking lot and into the breezeway alongside 3678 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 2 climbed over the fence and ran in the grassy area alongside 3592 Hayes Street Northeast. Suspect 2 dropped an unknown object on the ground. Suspect 2 turned around to retrieve the unknown object. Suspect 2 retrieved the unknown object from the ground he appeared to hold in his waistband area. Suspect 2 ran alongside 3670 Hayes Street Northeast into the rear parking lot. Suspect 2 then ran into the breezeway alongside 3678 Hayes Street Northeast. Note, the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. Suspect 1 reappeared exiting the breezeway adjacent to Building 3678 Hayes Street. Northeast, still holding the light-colored bag in his right hand, and his left hand is in his pocket. The gray hood is up and pulled tight, concealing his face. Note: the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. Suspect 2 reappeared from the breezeway. Both suspects enter 3680 Hayes Street Northeast. Note: the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. Suspect 2 exited 3680 Hayes Street Northeast wearing a different shirt and different shoes. Note: the yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2, a black male, wearing a gray t-shirt with a large white logo on the front, black pants, and black shoes. Suspect 2 exited the breezeway adjacent to Building 3678 Hayes Street, northeast at the parking lot in the rear of Building 3678. Note: the yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Suspect 2 exited the breezeway adjacent to Building 3678 Hayes Street northeast. Suspect 2 looked around for a few seconds before returning to 3680 Hayes Street northeast. Note: the yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Both suspects exited 3680 Hayes Street northeast. Both suspects changed some of their clothing prior to coming out of the building. Note: the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. Suspect 1 is now wearing a black jacket, black pants, and bluish-green, white Nike tennis shoes. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Suspect 2 is now wearing a gray t-shirt with a large white logo on the front, black shoes, and a black long-sleeve shirt or jacket tied around his head. Both suspects exited the breezeway adjacent to 3678 Hayes Street northeast. The suspects entered the rear parking lot and ran alongside 3670 Hayes Street northeast. The suspects ran into the courtyard of 3670 Hayes, then ran back towards the crime scene where the black 2010 BMW 328i was parked. Note: the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Both suspects are running back across the courtyard in the 3500 block of Hayes Street, northeast, toward 3592 Hayes Street, northeast. Note: the red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 returned to the 2010 black BMW 328i parked alongside 3592 Hayes Street northeast. Suspect 1 jumped the fence and went over to the driver's side of the vehicle with Suspect 2. Both suspects appear to be doing something on the passenger's side of the vehicle. It appears the suspects open the driver's door. After a few seconds, the suspects run back toward the courtyard of the apartment complex. Note: the bottom still shot is an enlarged section of the top still shot. Suspect 1 is circled in red, Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. The green arrow is pointed at the black BMW. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 are walking quickly back from the crime scene a second time. Both suspects are approaching the breezeway adjacent to Building 3670 Hayes Street northeast. Suspect 2 is seen holding a white object in his left hand. Note: the bottom still shot is an enlarged section of the top still shot. The red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 walked across the parking lot in the rear of Building 3678 as they approached the breezeway adjacent to 3678 Hayes Street northeast. As they walked by, Suspect 2 threw a white object in his hand into the trash dumpster. Note: red arrow is pointed at Suspect 1. The yellow arrow is pointed at Suspect 2. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 emerged from the breezeway adjacent to 3678 Hayes Street northeast, and they are jogging towards 3680 Hayes Street northeast. Note: Suspect 1 is circled in red, Suspect 2 is circled in yellow. Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 walked to 3680 Hayes Street northeast and entered the apartment building. Note: red circle is the location of Suspect 1. The yellow circle is the location of Suspect 2. Although the camera footage from Paradise covers large portions of the 3500 and 3600 block of Hayes Street northeast, the footage is not continuous, and there are periods of time where Suspect 1 and Suspect 2 are not visible on cameras. While the suspects appear to change clothing at points, suspect 1 is wearing the white, blue, and bluish-green Nike tennis shoes the entire time that he is visible on camera footage. With the exception of the individual who left 3680 Hayes Street Northeast at the same time as the suspects, who turned left into the interior of the complex, no one other than suspects 1 or 2 entered or exited 3680 Hayes Street Northeast between 16:19:00, 17:19:00 real time, when the defendants first walked out of the building, and 16:32:50, 17:32:50 real time, when suspects returned to the building after going back to the BMW a second time. Shortly before the homicide occurred, at approximately 17:10 hours, MPD received a call for service for a carjacking that occurred in the 1st District. An MPD officer observed the stolen vehicle soon thereafter and pursued the stolen vehicle. The driver of the stolen vehicle collided with another vehicle at 17:19 hours at the intersection of J Street, Northeast, and Kenilworth Avenue, Northeast. The driver of the stolen vehicle then fled from the crash on foot. Officers observed the driver of the stolen vehicle flee northbound on Kenilworth Avenue, Northeast, and then make a sharp left turn into the wooded area by the Watts Branch tributary between J Street Northeast, Kenilworth Avenue, Northeast, Kenilworth Terrace, Northeast, and Dean Avenue, Northeast. Officers voiced a lookout for a black male wearing a black hoodie, white t-shirt underneath, black pants, less than 25 years old, 160 pounds, 5 feet 8 to 5 feet 10 inches in height. 6th District officers responded to the area to assist in canvassing for the driver of the stolen vehicle. At approximately 17:23 hours, a 6th District officer, who was canvassing the wooded area of the Watts Branch tributary adjacent to J Street Northeast, walked out of the woods and onto J Street Northeast in the area of 3693 J Street Northeast. At approximately 17:25 hours, the officer observed witness 1, who was wearing all black clothing and appeared to have a black ski mask. Witness 1 was walking southeast on J Street, Northeast, on the sidewalk between J Street Northeast and the Paradise community. Witness 1 was coming from the direction of the intersection of Hayes Street Northeast and J Street Northeast and was walking towards the intersection of J Street Northeast and Kenilworth Terrace Northeast. 20. The 6th District officer stopped Witness 1 and asked Witness 1 where Witness 1 was coming from. Witness 1 stated that IT was coming from over there, pointing behind IT in the direction of Hayes Street Northeast. The officer observed that Witness 1 appeared to be short of breath and asked Witness 1 if there was a reason why Witness 1 was short of breath. Witness 1 shook its head no and asked, "Is everything good?" The officer stated that everything was good for now and patted Witness 1 down. Officers detained Witness 1 pending further investigation of the carjacking. Witness 1 indicated that IT was trying to get a ride home and subsequently stated that IT did not have a phone. Officers asked Witness 1 if IT was running, and Witness 1 denied that IT had been running. Officers asked Witness 1 why IT was breathing hard, and Witness 1 stated that IT was nervous because IT had just been stopped for no reason. Officers asked Witness 1 where IT had been, and Witness 1 stated that IT was in the park. Witness 1 provided no information as to why IT was in the neighborhood and provided no information indicating that IT was involved in or a witness to a shooting. An officer who had pursued the stolen vehicle and saw the driver of the vehicle flee subsequently responded to where Witness 1 was stopped. At 17:46 hours, that officer positively identified Witness 1 as the suspect that fled from the carjacked vehicle. A show-up was conducted, and the victim of the carjacking also positively identified Witness 1 as the person who had committed the carjacking. Witness 1 was placed under arrest for the carjacking and other associated charges. Officers conducted a search incident to arrest of Witness 1 and recovered a plastic bag containing round blue pills from Witness L's front pocket. The pills were marked M on one side and 30 on the opposite side and appear to be oxycodone hydrochloride, which is a Schedule II drug and requires a prescription. MPD officials at the 1st District conducted a field test on the recovered pills. The field test came back negative for the presence of methamphetamines and opiates. 22. Based on information obtained from the homicide investigation discussed herein, it was determined that Witness 1 was not involved in the carjacking. The remaining charges from Witness 1's arrest, possession of a controlled substance, were no-papered by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Additionally, during a subsequent conversation with the detective investigating the carjacking, the victim from the carjacking indicated that IT did not think that Witness 1 committed the carjacking. Review of MPD Radio Traffic 23. Your affiant reviewed the 6th District radio traffic associated with the homicide. At approximately 17:30 hours, the dispatcher advised officers to check for the sounds of shots fired at 3535 J Street Northeast. Officers asked the dispatcher how old the call was and noted that they had been in the area and had not heard any gunshots. The dispatcher informed officers that the call came in at 17:26 and advised that 3 males wearing all black ran down towards the middle of the complex at J Street. At approximately 17:34 hours, the dispatcher advised officers that it received a call for an individual that was shot at 3592 Hayes Street Northeast in the front. Officers indicated that they found nothing when they were canvassing for the sounds of gunshots at 3535 J Street Northeast and were going to head over to the shooting victim. The dispatcher subsequently advised that it had just received a lookout for a black male, tall, slim build, wearing a black sweat hoodie and black jeans, and a second subject wearing a gray t-shirt, black jeans, and possible dreads. The dispatcher advised that the caller stated both subjects' faces were covered, and they were seen running in the rear of the court rental office and last seen where the rental office is. Officers informed the dispatcher that they were canvassing at 3592 Hayes Street Northeast and did not locate a victim. Officers asked dispatcher if there was a callback number for the caller. The dispatcher advised that it just got off the phone with the caller, subsequently identified as Witness 2, who indicated that IT was on the phone with a victim, subsequently identified as Witness 1, who advised that IT was shot at 3592. The dispatcher informed officers that the caller was able to see the victim's location on the victim's phone, and that the victim was possibly in a black BMW. At approximately 17:39 hours, officers advised that it sounded as though they were trying to distract law enforcement from the person that they had stopped, presumably referencing the stop of Witness 1 for the carjacking, that they had canvassed the area and found nothing. Another officer informed the dispatcher that IT had just spoken to people who were in front of 3535 J Street, and they advised that it was fireworks. 25. As discussed above, citizens subsequently flagged down an MPD officer alongside 3592 Hayes Street, Northeast at approximately 18:28 hours. The officer then located the decedent inside of the 2010 black 4-door BMW 328i, unconscious and unresponsive, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Witness 1 custodial statements 26. Your affiant and Detective Covington spoke with Witness 1 twice while Witness I was in custody. 27. During the first conversation, your affiant advised Witness 1 that we were not investigating the carjacking or Witness 1's arrest. Witness 1 stated that IT did not want to answer questions without a lawyer present. Witness 1 was advised that your affiant and Detective Covington were homicide detectives and were investigating the death of Witness 1's associate. Witness 1 was advised that detectives knew that Witness 1 was driving the vehicle that the decedent was found in. Your affiant explained that detectives understood Witness 1 to be a victim in the case, not a suspect, and further explained that homicide detectives wanted to make sure that Witness 1 was safe and to find out the facts surrounding the decedent's death. Your affiant also told Witness 1 that MPD had possession of IT's cell phone and IT's car. Your affiant asked Witness 1 if IT was willing to provide a buccal swab and/or consent to the search IT's cell phone. Witness 1 declined to provide IT's consent for both items. 28. During the first conversation, Witness 1 inquired multiple times about when IT was going to be able to make a phone call. Your affiant offered Witness 1 an opportunity to make a phone call on your affiant's cell phone. Your affiant also advised Witness 1 that detectives had notified Witness 1's family that IT was safe. Witness 1 subsequently asked to call IT's family from your affiant's cell phone. Your affiant called Witness 1's family and advised them that Witness 1 was under arrest, that homicide detectives were investigating the shooting death of Witness 1's associate and were not involved in Witness 1's arrest or the charges against Witness 1. Your affiant further explained that Witness 1 was a witness to and victim of the shooting. Your affiant then provided the cell phone to Witness 1 to speak with IT's family. Your affiant and Detective Covington left the room while Witness 1 spoke with IT's family. However, the interview room camera continued to record. Witness 1 was escorted out of the interview room after IT concluded the phone call with IT's family. 29th. Witness 1 subsequently asked your affiant and Detective Covington about keeping Witness 1 safe while in their custody. Witness 1 explained to the detectives that IT wanted to talk about the homicide. Approximately 30 minutes after your affiant's first conversation with Witness 1, your affiant spoke with Witness 1 a second time. Your affiant reiterated that homicide detectives were investigating the murder of Witness 1's friend, and that homicide detectives viewed Witness 1 as a victim and a witness. Witness 1 then provided your affiant with the following information. 30. Witness 1 stated that IT picked the decedent up at approximately 4 p.m. the day of the homicide. Witness 1 was driving the black BMW, and no one else was with IT besides the decedent. Witness 1 explained that when IT arrived at the address, the person who IT was speaking with on Instagram got into the back seat of IT's car, along with another unidentified person. Witness I explained that there was a car seat in the seat behind the front passenger, so the unidentified person got into the middle back seat, and the person who IT had been speaking with on Instagram got into the seat behind the driver's seat, where Witness 1 was seated. 33rd. Witness 1 described the individual seated in the middle seat, who got into the vehicle first, as wearing jeans and possibly a gray t-shirt with nothing on his face. Witness I stated that this person was probably 5 degrees 10 minutes or 5 feet 11 inches and probably around 19 years old. Witness 1 stated that this person was average build. Witness 1 also stated that this person had a fake little beard. Witness 1 described this individual as having a light complexion. Later in the interview, Witness 1 stated that IT knew this individual as KJ. 34th witness described the person who IT had speaking with on Instagram, who was seated behind Witness 1's driver's seat, as wearing a black long-sleeve shirt. Witness 1 stated that this person was approximately 5 feet 6 inches or 5 feet 7 inches and slim build. Witness 1 said this person was about 17 years old and had no facial hair. Witness 1 described this individual as brown-skinned. Later in the interview, Witness 1 stated that IT knew this individual as 9. 35th. Witness 1 stated that once KJ and 9 got into the car, the decedent was trying to purchase marijuana from KJ. Witness 1 stated that the decedent handed KJ $80 for the marijuana, and KJ then said, "Don't move." Witness 1 stated that when KJ said, "Don't move," IT saw that KJ was holding a black pistol-style gun. Witness I stated that the decedent turned around and stated that IT thought the decedent and KJ both let shots off. Witness 1 initially stated that IT was not sure if the decedent was holding a cell phone or a gun when he turned around, but subsequently stated that it was probably a gun that the decedent was holding. Witness 1 stated that as soon as IT heard the shots, IT started to run. Witness 1 stated that IT ran down the street until the police stopped IT. Witness I stated that IT was not sure of how many shots IT heard. Witness 1 stated that IT tried to look back at IT's car as IT ran away, but IT did not see KJ or 9 get out of the vehicle. 36. Witness I stated that IT did not recall hearing 9 say anything prior to the shooting. 37th. Witness 1 acknowledged that IT knew the decedent to carry a firearm. Witness I stated that the last place IT recalled seeing the decedent's gun was to the side of the decedent, next to the door. Witness 1 also stated that the decedent's arm came from the direction of the door when IT saw the decedent turning after KJ said, "Don't move." 38th. Witness 1 subsequently provided additional details regarding the two suspects and their interaction leading up to the shooting. Witness 1 stated that the individual IT had been communicating with on Instagram was known as 9, and the other individual, who got into the middle back seat, was known to IT as KJ. Witness 1 indicated that IT understood 9 and KJ to be from Benning Park, and that 9 was a rapper. Witness 1 explained that IT believed them to be from Benning Park because IT saw that 9 tagged posts on Instagram as being in Benning Park. Witness 1 stated that IT had seen a rap video with both 9 and KJ in it and described the video for detectives. Witness 1 described 9 as having a high-top fade hairstyle and KJ as having a little cut hairstyle. Witness 1 stated that KJ had tattoos on his arm. 39th, detectives located the rap video described by Witness 1 on YouTube. Witness 1 reviewed the video with detectives and identified the individuals that IT knew as 9 and KJ in the video. 40. After Witness 1 provided the information above to detectives, Witness 1 asked why detectives were not helping IT with ITS charges if IT was helping them with their investigation. Your affiant explained that detectives provided information to the investigators that arrested Witness 1 because those investigators were going to charge Witness 1 with additional charges on top of the drug charges. Your affiant also explained that detectives never told Witness 1 that they could get the charges dropped, but stated that they would be able to tell the prosecutors whether Witness I was cooperating with the investigation. 41. Your affiant again asked Witness 1 whether IT would provide consent for law enforcement to search IT's phone. Witness 1 declined to provide consent to search IT's phone, but did provide detectives with IT's password for the phone. Your affiant assured Witness 1 that detectives would not use the password to access Witness 1's phone without a search warrant. Your affiant asked Witness 1 whether IT had ever plotted, planned, or actually robbed anyone else. Witness 1 stated that IT had never robbed anyone, but recalled that IT had previously told O that an individual who 9 had problems with had moved to another state. Witness 1 recalled that the individual who 9 had problems with subsequently was robbed. Witness 1 also recalled that IT had plotted with a friend, other than the decedent, to rob someone before, but they never actually robbed the individual. The government met with Witness 1 after Witness 1 was released from custody, and Witness 1 provided additional information on the events and interactions leading up to the homicide. Witness 1 stated that IT came to know 9 and KJ through a friend. Witness 1 stated that IT followed KJ and 9 on Instagram and had viewed 9's rap videos. Witness 1 also attended a block party in Benning Park in the fall of 2021 that both 9 and KJ were at. Witness 1 stated that the date of the homicide was the first time IT had face-to-face conversations with 9 and KJ. 45th. Witness 1 stated that 9 had asked on Instagram about buying Percocet from Witness 1 in the past. Witness 1 stated that the decedent knew that IT was going to meet with 9 in DC to sell 9 Percocet, and that the decedent had asked Witness 1 to arrange to buy marijuana from 9 while they were in DC. Witness 1 stated that IT does not smoke marijuana, but that IT asked 9 about buying marijuana as though IT was buying the marijuana for itself. Witness 1 stated that IT arranged to buy 28 grams of marijuana from 9 for $75. Witness 1 stated that IT was not armed when IT went to meet with 9 and KJ, but IT believed that the decedent did have a firearm with him, though Witness 1 never actually saw the decedent's firearm. 46th Witness 1 provided additional detail regarding the proposed sale of Percocet. Witness 1 explained that IT had agreed with 9 that IT was going to sell 950 Percocet for $350. Witness 1 stated that IT never had an opportunity to give the Percocet to 9 or to get the $350 from 9. Witness 1 stated that IT messaged 9 when it was on the way to meet with 9 and let 9 know that it was stuck in traffic at one point. 47. When asked how it was that Witness 1 knew that it was KJ and 9 who got into IT's car, Witness 1 explained that IT could see KJ and 9's faces in IT's rearview mirror as they walked up to IT's car. Witness 1 stated that KJ got into the car first, followed by 9. Witness 1 stated that IT does not wear glasses and that IT did not have any trouble seeing their faces. Witness I explained that IT was seated in the front driver's seat and turned around partially to greet KJ and 9 when they got into the car. Witness 1 stated that IT could clearly see KJ's face, but could not fully see 9's face once 9 was in the car. 48th. Witness 1 stated that once KJ and 9 were in the back seat of the car, KJ handed the decedent the marijuana, and the decedent gave KJ the $80 for the marijuana. Witness 1 recalled that KJ was carrying the marijuana in a green pouch, and the marijuana that KJ gave the decedent was packaged in a clear plastic bag. After KJ took the money from the decedent, KJ stated, "Don't move." Witness 1 stated that IT turned around and saw that KJ was holding a black pistol. Witness 1 stated that KJ had the firearm pointed at IT and the decedent, and then the decedent turned and began to produce an item that Witness 1 believes was a firearm. Witness 1 stated that IT heard gunshots and saw a spark, then IT started to run from the car. W1 confirmed that the decedent did not produce what Witness 1 assumed to be a firearm until after KJ produced his firearm. 49th. Witness 1 also stated that IT was on FaceTime with Witness 2 while IT was in the car. Witness 1 stated that IT FaceTimed with Witness 2 on IT's way to meet with 9, and then when IT was waiting for 9 to come to the car. Witness 1 explained that IT was on FaceTime with Witness 2 when 9 and KJ were in the car, but that IT did not recall dropping IT's phone. After this, some more paperwork would come out of young 9 admitting to his involvement, and the streets would say he's hot. Morally rich, Jake would be the one to post the paperwork of 9 allegedly being hot whole time, the streets saying Jake hot and young 9 not. Should I do a video on Jake being hot?
Maxo, this beat going crazy.
Nah. Hey, nah. Stop playing with these niggas, bro.
Stop playing these.
Tired of something.
Get on.
You can get plucked cause you thinkin' you tough. And I'm sorry you out cause you ain't one up. And that nigga that died got left by a buck. Keep spinning they been cause it give me a rough. Them niggas keep talking, they don't get enough. And the G thing on me, you know it's a must. And this big 23 is like Mike in the club.